Welcome to the Sermon in the Valley with Pastor Rob Eller. If you like what you hear, please subscribe to the podcast and share it with your friends and family. Thank you. Hello everybody, welcome back to the Sermon in the Valley. Pastor Rob Eller here with your Thursday episode. So, many of you who watch TV, or at least have streaming services, especially Apple TV, have probably been watching the show Ted Lasso. And it recently wrapped up its third season, about a few weeks ago, which actually might even be its final season, hopefully not. But it's a really good, wholesome show with a lot of great themes, many of which can be, even carried over into, faith-related themes. So, I decided to start a mini-series within this podcast over the next couple months or so. It's not going to be every week. Called The Gospel According to Ted Lasso. Now, for any of you who have not seen the show and want to watch it, be aware there are going to be some spoiler alerts in these episodes. Keeping that in mind, though, I'm not going to do any of these episodes for my podcast on season 3 until much later, when most people have had a chance to watch it. I recently finally just got around to watching it. Didn't have Apple TV for a little bit. Finally got it back and was able to finally watch season 3. But out of respect for those who haven't watched it yet, I'm going to keep season 3 until later. So we're going to start in season 1. So today's theme is all about grace and forgiveness within grief. For those of you who have not watched Ted Lasso, one of the major themes of the first season, first of all, the major theme of the show is Ted Lasso, an American college football coach, moves to England as he is going through a divorce, and he is hired to coach a Premier League football team, also known as soccer, because we're talking about English football now. A Premier League team in England. Very unorthodox, and you might be wondering why would someone who coaches college football be then coaching soccer? Well, there's a whole big backstory to that, and I encourage you to watch the show if you're really interested. But there's a really major theme with that. So, it's revealed early on in the series that this college football coach is hired because the current owner of the team has just divorced her husband, and she's trying to get revenge on him. And the way she's going to get her revenge is by hiring a bumbling coach who has no idea what he's doing to try to ruin the team, just to make him watch that and suffer for that. Except things don't quite go as they're supposed to. Obviously, Ted Lasso doesn't realize that that's the plan. He's there just to try, to be a coach, because he loves coaching, and he wants to make a difference in his players' lives. And as the season goes on, we begin to see that this diabolical plan to have the team fail is starting to backfire. Because pretty soon the team starts to like Ted Lasso. The staff of the team likes Ted Lasso. And then pretty soon, the fans and then the owner. And this whole plan unravels. And it finally culminates towards the end of the season when it's revealed to Ted that this was the owner's intent all along, to make him fail. And she finally goes to talk to Ted about it. And there's this really great scene, and I wish I could play for the audio, but for copyright reasons I can't. Where the owner and Ted are talking in her office. He finally learns the truth, and she tells him, "If you want to quit and call a press conference, I would not hold it against you." And without even a pause, Ted tells her, "I forgive you." Through all of that grief and pain that they have both been having, Ted says, "I forgive you." Now, any other person, if someone was trying to sabotage your job, would you easily forgive that person trying to do it? I'm not sure any of us really could. But then as we continue with that scene, Ted tells his boss, the owner of the team, that, divorce, whether you're the one who's initiated the divorce, or the one who's on the other end of it, no matter which end of the divorce you're on, it makes you do crazy things. It makes you do things that you never think about. And Ted cites, I'm here I moved halfway across the world to coach soccer. And in all that, despite all the things thrown at him, despite the fact his job was being sabotaged, he found it in him to forgive his boss. That is pretty powerful. In his grief, he showed grace to his boss, and he forgave her. That's a lesson for all of us, isn't it? Isn't it a lesson for all of us to follow? That all the pain and suffering that we face in life, no matter what is thrown at us, our response shouldn't be revenge. Our response shouldn't be anger. It shouldn't be vindictiveness. Our answer should be forgiveness. Think into the scriptures for a moment here. Jesus it's Good Friday. Jesus is hanging on the cross as the crowds watch. And among his last words are, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." In his dying moments on the cross, Jesus asked God to forgive those who put him on the cross. Jesus could have asked God to wreak vengeance on them. I mean, we've seen God do that in the Old Testament. But no. Jesus asks for God to forgive them. Could any of us ever do that? We should, because chapters earlier in the Gospels, when Jesus gives us the Lord's Prayer, one of the petitions in the Lord's Prayer is, "Forgive us our sins, as we forgive those who sin against us." We ask God for forgiveness, and in turn, we are to forgive those who have wronged us. That's a pretty powerful statement to make. One that I don't think very many of us could fulfill. It takes a strong person to do that. It takes a person like Ted Lasso to forgive someone for the wrongs done to them. We are called to live like Jesus in our lives. We are called to love everyone, to serve everyone, to forgive everyone. It goes right back to some of the blessings and the woes and the Sermon on the Mount and all that. Love your enemies. Can we really love our enemy? It's hard. The first step to that is forgiveness. It's hard to say I forgive you. It's hard to forgive someone when we feel like that they owe us the apology. But here's the deal. When you do that, when you forgive someone, you are letting go. You are saying, I am not going to let this bother me anymore. I forgive you for hurting me. I know it's not what you wanted to do. I know you didn't mean to do that. Even if you think you did, I know you did not mean to do that to me. It takes a lot to forgive someone. After that moment, that was like the turning point in the show. After that moment, you really see the relationship between Ted and the team owner change to where no, they're working together, they're laughing together, they enjoy being with each other. And you see her then go to bat and defend him because she's realizing, you know what? I was doing this to try to hurt someone who hurt me. And in the process, I've created collateral damage by trying to hurt an innocent person. I shouldn't have done that. When we forgive others, we're saying, you know what? I don't want any more pain. I don't want any more pain for me. I don't want any more pain for you or for an innocent bystander. I want the pain to stop. I am moving on. It's hard. Like I said, it's hard to do that. Trust me, I know it's hard to forgive those who hurt you. But there are times where you just need to do that because it's the right thing to do. Letting go of that hurt and that pain helps you move on. And it helps release whatever control that person that hurt you might have over you. Because by moving on, you're saying, you know what? I'm not going to let this control my life anymore. I've worried about it too much. I've let it control my actions too much. I've hurt people because of this. I forgive you. I'm moving on. And that will have a profound effect on the person you will have a profound effect on the person you forgave. They will start to think, and maybe then their lives will begin to turn around. That's all I have for you today. This is going to be the first of many. As I continue to go through and rewatch the show, I'm going to find many more moments to talk about. But like I said, I'm going to save the season 3 lessons for later because I don't want to spoil anything. If you like what you heard today, please subscribe to the podcast, share it with your friends and family, spread this good news to all that need to hear it. God's peace be with all of you, and have a good and blessed day.